Hello everyone. If you've seen a few of my videos, you probably realize by now that I'm not the biggest fan of LED string lights. So when I had the idea to put some curtain lights outside in the garden, I kind of thought, well, I don't really want them to be looking like LED lights. So for those who don't know, I like to collect incandescent string lights, and if I have any LED ones, I like them to look like incandescent ones. So have a cap that makes them look like incandescent mini lights or other types of bulbs. But when it comes to my lights outside, I kind of have been having a preference that they are LED, simply because they might last longer, and a lot of these string lights that I've been collecting are probably quite fragile now because a lot of them are like around 20 years old or maybe even older. So when it came to getting curtain lights, pretty much everything on the market is typical LED looking curtain lights, which just have that typical LED style. And I'm just personally not the biggest fan of that, at least for my own collection of lights that I have on display. And I thought, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get LED curtain lights that look like incandescent curtain mini lights, if that makes sense. I know you can obviously get the strings that look like mini lights, but those are quite difficult to get a hold of as it is. And then it occurred to me, what about micro lights? And I came across this set of Alderbrook micro lights. So I'll just quickly open them up to explain what they are in case you're unaware. So on the packaging, this actually looks like typical LED lights. But if you look closely, you can kind of see they look kind of different, but we'll get to the inside in a second. So I found these on eBay, and they were originally like £35. I had my eye on them for months, and eventually the seller brought them down to £10, which I think is a lot more reasonable. So as you can see, there are 120 lights. They've got clear, long life micro bulbs, and they have a snowing effect. Now, I don't know if you're able to change the effect. We're going to find out. And these are by the Alderbrook brand, which eventually became owned by Noma. I need to look more into it because it's kind of difficult to find information about Alderbrook. But as far as I'm aware, in recent years, they were owned by Noma. But I feel like I've seen historic posters and stuff where there are Noma bulbs by Alderbrook or something, and maybe that was in North America. I'm not really sure. I need to do the research. As you can see as well, white cable. This is actually a sticker on here. And I noticed that that is something in an era of Noma string lights. They kind of ditched having different boxes for everything and just had the same box with stickers on them to denote the color of the bulbs and the strings. But yeah, let's have a look. So we've got pretty much similar stuff on this side here. I really like this diagram to kind of explain the sizing there. Oh, here we go. 8 exciting cascade effects which travel up and down each light strand. That's cool. So I would assume there would be an option for it to be static, which I kind of want because I feel like this is probably to make a snowing effect. And then on this side, this is actually quite a standard diagram that would be on Noma lights, particularly ones from around 10 years ago. They would have the bulb information here, but as you can see, the lamps are non-replaceable. Then we've got the voltage and wattage of the bulbs, so it's 1.6 volts and 0.16 watts. Straight line construction for ease of use. That is from a time when string lights in the UK typically would be in a loop construction. So there would be 2 cables coming out of the plug and then just one single wire that would come out and then back into the plug, and then all the bulbs would be along that wire. And then yeah, I really love that they've got this detail. I think this is really important on string lights. I still find to this day that you can get string lights that don't have the detail of the sizing. Like, I think it's quite important, especially when there's a specific place that you want lights to go. And then on the back, we've got some safety instructions in case you want to pause to read. And this address here, I'm not really sure what that is. But this address here, the KT130YU, that is the postcode for the Noma head office, or the old one, when it was based in Surrey. A few years ago, it was bought by a larger homeware company called Leisure Grow. So they're not based at this address anymore. But I find it kind of odd that like it's quite ominous in a way. And then this website here, alderbrook.uk.com, I checked that and that doesn't exist anymore. But there's no mention of Noma apart from that postcode. Anyway, let's take a look inside properly. So it's quite a decent box. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very sturdy and thick. But also this is quite heavy. Actually, I've got some weighing scales here. Let's just weigh this. So I don't think you can really see what it actually says. I don't know why it's not showing up on the camera, but this is 1.229 kilograms. So that's quite heavy for a box of string lights. So taking a look inside, we've got the transformer plug here. And then, of course, the bunch of lights here. And the control, which has the 8 settings, including steady on, which is great to see. And yeah, it looks like it's never been used. I mean, it was listed as new. I've never actually had a set of curtain lights before, so this is actually very new to me. And then we've got this old style of connector. Old as in like 10 years old. I feel like this was quite popular. Let's open this up. Here we go, quite a hefty power adapter, and as you can see it says Noma, so there is some sign of Noma other than that postcode. There's the information on there. So let's plug this in and give it a try. Actually, let's have a quick look at these tags. All right, let's turn the light off and give it a try. Nice. Now, I don't think it really shows up on camera, but there is a noticeable difference that these are not LED, or at least to me, as someone who is very aware of these things. Like, the coloring on these bulbs is just so much easier to look at, and I'd say slightly warmer and absolutely not jarring like a lot of LED lights tend to be. On camera, I guess it's kind of, it looks brighter than it actually is. It actually looks quite calm on here. I don't know how to explain that. All right, let's see all the different effects. I'm gonna kind of have it sideways like that. So I'm assuming we're currently on the combination effect. Yeah, we must be on the combination effect. I can't actually see what it says on here. Okay, here we go. So let's press the button to number 2. So this is in waves. This is quite pleasant. And then sequential. I feel like it would be a lot better to see this when see the different effects when it's like actually hung up. I might take a video of it hung up. And then slow glow. And then chasing flash. This is one of the worst settings that the Christmas lights industry has like taken on board. I think it's absolutely terrible. I can't think of a time when this would be necessary. Even at a party, I wouldn't want this. If you're a fan of it, I would be very curious to hear in the comments. And then slow fade. So this is the whole set fading. And then twinkle flash. Again, this is a terrible setting that needs to be banned. And then steady on. And this is probably the one that I will keep it on. But yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of wires going on here. So on here we've got 5 wires coming out, which means that every 4th bulb is going to have the same effect. And then we've got a wire coming back, and then of course these are the power wires going in. So if I show you on here, this is 5, so the 1st and 5th have the same effect. Let's get on a different effect, there we go. And then the 2nd and 6th have the same. I like how there's different lengths coming out. I'm actually so curious to see how this is going to look hung up. So I'm going to go and hang them up and I will show you. So here they are set up in the garden. Now the audio cut out from this for some reason, so I'm just going to try to remember what I said as I'm watching this back. So I've put them on this bit of wood down here. I was initially going to put them at the top here on this frame, but it just kind of didn't really fit with the vines there, and I tried to see if I could have them like weaving through the vines. It just didn't really work, so I put them down here. And then I hung it up by using this sort of like tying wire that I use for like gardening, for like tying stuff to bamboo sticks, such as my sunflowers. And that seemed to work quite well. They seem quite sturdy being hung up there. And I think I'm going to keep this up year round. I mean, it's really nice in the summer when we're out here in the garden, especially in the evening or if I'm doing a party. And I think it would be really nice at Christmas time too. And here they are. I think they just make a really cozy touch to the seating area out here. I feel like they're not really showing up on camera, but these are like really warm because they are incandescent. In person, you can kind of see like the tiny filament being lit up, and it's just, yeah, just really warm and cozy. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. There are many other videos like this on the channel if you're curious about other string lights, so do check those out, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.